Welcome to Kingdom Conversations. We're sipping, we're learning, and we're growing in God. God bless. So, from this point on, every Wednesday, if you allow me, I would like to talk to you about some things about the Bible. I'm very curious about the Bible and the Word of God and learning different meanings and understanding and a deeper aspect of each part of His Word. Today, I would like to talk to you about Psalm 56. Actually, more specifically, Psalm 56, verse 8. If you're not familiar with that, in general, it's talking about how God collects our tears. Now, when I used to hear this being spoken about during a sermon, it always was referring to David, who was the writer of Psalm 56, as being sad or downtrodden, because technically at that time he was in captivity by the Philistines. And in that perspective, you would kind of think that David was downhearted. But to me, looking at David's history, especially at this time when he was being followed by Saul to kill him, he was going from place to place to protect himself and keep himself safe, only to be captured by the Philistines. And in the same place where pretty much Goliath, who he slayed, in the same location. So you can imagine the feelings or emotions that he was going through at that time. But looking back on David's history and his experience, the same man that now was a young man, not too much older than he was when he slayed Goliath, but he's already killed a lion, he's already killed a bear, he's already killed Goliath, he's been hiding from Saul, and he has befriended Jonathan. So I would like to kind of get some idea in your concept of what actually you think about Psalm 56:8. So let me read it to you. I'm using the New King James Version. And in this particular case, it talks about the exact word. You number my wanderings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? So it's God recording our tears. But once again, as I explained, when I heard this, it was always in the aspect of David being sad. So David and Jonathan were friends, which, if you're not familiar who Jonathan is actual Saul's son. So Jonathan gives David his robe, his armor, his sword, his bow, and his belt. So really saying he recognizes that David is anointed by God and who is supposed to be the next king in line. So while in captive, David is actually um, pretending that he's mad, like he's insane, so that the Philistines won't kill him. So I just want to kind of give you an idea of his thought process, maybe at the time. Here he is with Jonathan as his good friend. And you got to think about Jonathan, like, how faithful is Jonathan that he would go against his own father to follow God and follow God's choice of who's to be the next king. And Jonathan is so faithful to God that he is actually protecting David in a lot of circumstances by telling him when his father, Saul, King Saul, is actually doing things or trying to locate him. So, as a different view, to me, is a totally different perspective. David and Jonathan were friends, good friends. So David, to me, would not be in a fearful mindset if he has enough intelligence to pretend to be insane. So David and Jonathan were both what we could say followers of God, but cold followers of God. And I'll explain that at a later point in time. It's along the lines of either being not. Once again, thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and even share. I love to get your feedback and your comments. Have a wonderful day.